Can you imagine building something like this? How would you do it? Who would you ask? Who would you ask to build something like this? DoD would love to build something like this for surveillance. Can they? They can't. Why? This is made of molecular machinery.
I think it's important for you guys to know what the nutrition facts of this presentation are. So there's some useful information, about 87%, basic truth about 68. There's a total fund, saturated funds about 26%. There is some ambient cross-dressing, about 9%.
If you want to understand what the future is, look at what students are doing when they're not doing what they're supposed to be doing. Right? So something like Napster or the web or Linux, these are things produced by students who were essentially like goofing off.
Advances in computing power are making it possible to embed aesthetic skill in software that's available to everyone. And this is good and bad news, both for designers and also for people who look at design, because of course if you remember back to when everybody first started to use desktop publishing and we kind of had the fonts a go-go, everything looked like a ransom letter, we still, and there's still websites that sort of have that design principle.
This is a sculpture from 1981. It's called The Compass of Love, and it's a magnesium needle that's about 23 feet long, and it's magnetically levitated. There are permanent magnets.
When you sit and you counsel for the welfare of the people, think not of yourself, nor of your family, nor even of your generation, but make your decision on behalf of the seventh generation coming.
My choreography and the inception of my dance company, Project Vanderloop, comes from my interest in the intersection of art, sport, ritual, and the environment.
If you look at the origin of the word healing, it actually means holy. Healing, holy, wholeness, health, all come from the same word. And therefore, healing is the return of the memory of wholeness.
And we can use the known laws of physics to turn further and further and further back in time. We can push those laws right back to a mere fraction of a second after the beginning. We can kind of push right to about here. But if we try to use the known laws of physics to push any further back in time, it breaks down. We get noise, we get garbage. All we get is static.
Most people have the view of the world as being formed and functional. We don't. We see the world as being unformed and dysfunctional.
We know race is a socio-political, not a biological construct. There are more genetic differences within races than among them. But if race has only socio-political, not biological significance, it isn't just a pigment of our imagination. It colors all our lives, and it has a profound consequence in the lives of many.
It turns out that research suggests that reality is overrated. That's because people who really look reality squarely in the eye are usually depressed.
The point being that fake and real are not static categories at all, I don't think. Especially in a digital age, when the fake and real, authentic and ersatz distinction is being broken down every day.
We advocate that human rights should be an essential part of the development policy. Without it, there's no justice, and all the development dollars that we're spending will be wasted.
Sometimes we can't help but reinvent something that's working perfectly well already. I mean, the bathroom faucet, for instance. Now, once upon a time, this is a very simple device. Now you go into the bathroom in an airport or a hotel, and you approach the wash bowl with caution. Do you turn the water on, or do you push something? With your hand or your foot? Is it meant to come on automatically? Do you have to wave at it? And when you've finished, who's responsible for turning it off? You or it? Will it know, or do you have to tell somebody?
Thor Heyerdahl, who you'll remember as the Norwegian explorer who rafted across the oceans to learn whether the ancients could possibly have traveled where they did without using outboard motors. Heyerdahl told me once that he had compressed his life motive into 7 words. Translate ideas into events to serve people. Translate ideas into events to serve people. Maybe that should be the sign over the door at the next Applied Brilliance meeting.